because an ESPN article said his whole team is very good. And what does success even look like? We kick it around, man. Meanwhile, will two-time champion Coach Mangini defend his ceiling or floor championship to a motivated Broussard, or will Nick Wright play spoiler? Stay tuned to find out. But right now, we're starting with quarterback rooms. It's the starting quarterbacks and their backups. Ravens have the number one room, according to Mike Clay's positional group rankings. Ravens, Bills, Chiefs, Bengals, Eagles, Commanders, Chargers, 49ers, Buccaneers, and then the Lions. Nick, do you want to go first here?
I think Coach should go.
Coach, do you think it's strange to have KC outside of the top spot for QB rooms?
Yeah, I tried to figure out how they came to this. And as I was sitting off, I'm saying, okay, so Mahomes is here.
Yeah.
And then the difference between him and Josh or Lamar, how big is that? And now the backups have to be able to offset that gap between him and the next two. I'm like, all right, well, who are the backups? And so I pulled the backup.
Coach is going to do a backup full
Can we please pull the full screen?
Yes.
So I pulled the backup.
We have the best backup, too.
Yeah, so when I looked at it, both Minshew and Trubisky have a Pro Bowl. So
Pro Bowl.
They both have a Pro Bowl. But when you look at Minshew, he's got the better passer rating. His TD to interception ratio is actually better. His yards per attempt are a little bit better. So
Coach, I don't mean to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
I don't think this is about the backups.
I like it, though.
I think they're saying Mahomes isn't better than Josh.
Okay, well, that's obviously wrong. So taking that part as being wrong, and saying, so then it was about what's the gap between.
Did you go third string?
And there is no gap.
Zappy has started games.
I was going to go third string, but I'm saying, could that margin at third string really be enough to offset the difference at the top? So I don't know who put this together, but I strongly disagree.
I'm the same way. I mean, as much as I like Lamar, you can't have anybody number one except Patrick Mahomes.
Wow.
And
what a way to get us ready for pre.
Why? Why?
Because
you're a Lamar guy, and Josh won MVP.
Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league.
Crazy. But if Lamar's numbers were crazy and Josh is MVP and
why.
Mahomes is winning, there's an argument.
Lamar has got to be at his best in the playoffs. That's what it. Mahomes is actually at his best in the playoffs, and in the moments where, even in those playoff games where they need it, third down, fourth quarter, whatever it might be. And Lamar, while improving,
but Lamar
has not played his
last game
best.
was bad, right?
No, his last game was good, but he made two killer turnovers.
How about Mahomes' last game?
It was in the Super Bowl, though. That's a difference.
They're
still
both
better
of their
than
last
the
right. If you're in the Super Bowl, it's
I'm
still
saying
better
both
than
of their last games were depressed. Lamar's getting penalized for his last game.
No. He's getting
Lamar
penalized
has
for when his last
history.
game was, KW.
Okay, still
but that's
AFC Championship.
You gotta beat.
It was the division.
Would you put until Lamar or Josh or Burrow starts beating Mahomes? I just don't see how you can put them ahead of him.
But here's the other problem is it would be one thing if this same ranking looked at the Chiefs like, actually, as crazy as it sounds, that they are carrying Patrick because they're just stacked. But when you look at it, they think the Chiefs are pretty, here you go, Hubs, mid. They are, in fact, like, if we show, they think they have the second worst running back room in the league. Then above average wide receivers, really good tight end, exactly average offensive line. Slightly above average defensive line, bad edge rushers, pretty decent linebacker corner, horrible safeties. So again, if you remove the quarterback from it and say, this is a team, that to me is a team you would say, okay, it's about a league average team.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're clearly going to really struggle to run the ball.
But their overall roster ranks fourth.
Because right, that's my point. That is my exact point.
I'm not trying to argue about actually just like the methodology here. Did he look at the overall roster, and it's kind of like when you do like every game, but like it doesn't equal up?
So no, this was the way they did overall roster was not like a mathematical, everything
Wasn't
counts the
based on
same.
this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? No, they gave extra weight to quarterback. But my point is, the only way for this roster to be a top 4 roster in the NFL is if you have the best quarterback in the league. Because, and by the way, that's exactly what happened last year. And this was my frustration in some of the conversation last year, and it's now carried over. Someone explain why they're winning. Because 2 years ago, the defense was extraordinary. 2 years ago, they had an argument. They had the best defense in football, and then in the playoffs, Mahomes turned it on. You know what I mean? That's what happened. Last year, they had a good but not a great defense at all, and early, in any metric. And early in the year, they couldn't force turnovers. They were, near bottom of the league in turnover differential.
They had a good defense.
All we did was talk about the defense.
No, I mean, look at their numbers. Yes, they had a absolutely.
You love their defense.
No. 2 years ago, I said I thought they had the best defense in football.
Oh.
Last year, they had a good, but there was no case to be made they had the best defense in football last year. Not in points, not in yards, not in sacks, not in turnovers. It was a good, but not not what the Ravens did at the end of the year, not Philly throughout the year, any of that. And the question was asked, and their running back broke his leg, and their backup running back was unemployed, and they didn't have a 25-yard run all year. How did they win? They won because in the biggest spots their quarterback played great, and now they're saying they have a top 5 team despite having, according to their own rankings, pretty average roster. It's because of the quarterback. Like that, and I think
the Ravens had the best roster according to this.
Yes.
And beat the Chiefs in 8 of the 10
This is a look ahead. This is this year's roster.
Yeah.
Right. This is a look ahead.
Yes.
So it's not totally.
I bet it was similar to last year, though.
Yeah. I mean, this is
Yeah,
how
not a wild difference, but it includes the draft and people who left.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the defending champs, their roster is stacked. They are ranking in the top 5 in 6 different position groups: quarterback, running back, wide receiver, offensive line, linebacker number 2, and cornerbacks at 4. Brew, do you want to go first here? Coach, you want to go?
Sure.
Oh, let's go, Brew. Brew wants it. Brew wants the ball. Does Hurts have to have a huge year?
No.
Okay.
Like, he just won the Super Bowl and outplayed the best quarterback in the league and was Super Bowl MVP and has been to 2 of the last 3 Super Bowls and played great in both of them. Like, he does not have to have a great year. Now, with all those accolades or accomplishments, he doesn't. But, my answer is yes and no. Yes, he does because of the narrative, because he is viewed as the weak link of the team.
I don't even think I was saying that last year. I don't think people view him as that now.
I don't think
they view him as the driving force.
I don't think they view him as weak. I don't think they view him as bad, but I do think, to your point earlier, they believe the running back is better, Saquon Barkley. Yeah. They believe the offensive line, the defensive backfield, the receiving core are better. He was
5, though. I mean, the quarterback is in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much of that is from
But
Tanner
he still
McKee,
was lower than the other positions. So I just think I won't feel this way, but if he plays poorly this year and they're 10-7, get beat in the first round, whatever, or miss the playoffs, and he plays poorly, a lot of people will go at him.
Yes.
Like, see, I told you he's not that good. So for that reason, he does need to play well. But I'm just saying the things he's accomplished in his first, 5 years as a starter are, like, pretty incredible. So anybody looking at it, I think, really with a smart eye would say, okay, he had a down year, but that doesn't mean he's still not a franchise quarterback.
The thing that's going to keep the Eagles out of the Super Bowl is if he starts to press to be something that he's not. That's going to be the problem. If they decide they're going to justify, or they need to prove the narrative wrong and turn him into 35 times a game, 40 times a game, he's going to throw the ball. So if he and Sirianni decide they have to justify, their beliefs, that to me is going to be the biggest problem with this team. He is good where he is. They can win the Super Bowl with the way that he played. It doesn't have to change. But now there's going to be pressure, just like when he signed his contract. What happened? 15 interceptions and then another 6 or 7 fumbles. So he has 6 fumbles. So he has 21 turnovers, and they go to the supernatural funk. If they decide to do that, which there's going to be pressure on them to do it, and the receivers are going to pressure them to do it too, that's what's going to keep them from winning again.
Yeah.
You want to go, KW?
Is there any part of what we've seen from Jalen Hurts' demeanor or public comments, his behavior, that makes you think that he's going to want to air it out and do anything other than that is so far off of my worry list.
I actually agree with you that I'm not worried about that.
How do you guys explain the first 4 games last year?
Oh, I think that it was
30 times, all 4 games.
Yeah, but I don't think that was because I don't think that was like Jalen. No. We're saying 2 different things. He is saying, are you worried that they could be winning, doing with the exact same playbook as last year, and then Jalen's going to close doors around and be like, I need to get my numbers, guys.
Yes.
Like, he's saying he's not worried that that's going to happen.
No, but I think there'll be wide receivers on the sideline reading books.
Is always,
and I think
the way it goes.
There'll be pressure on the head coach, and there'll be a lot of
can I ask the question? Yeah. So my worry is a different one, which is what I am really interested in, and maybe we won't find out this year, but at some point we will, which is what if things change for Philly in that, they are relying on a lot of unproven pass rushers, right? They lost. They have the great young secondary. Right. Jalen Carter's awesome. Zach Bond had a great year. A lot of, and that's 4 great players, of your 11. A lot of question marks elsewhere. So let's say the defense has a big drop like it did 2 years ago, and Saquon misses a month. And it's like, oh, wait, now our best path to win is we do have to throw the ball. We do have 2 star receivers. Our defense is allowing 27 points a game. Right. We do have to throw the ball. What I'm interested in, at this point in his career, can they win that way? What I have said is, I haven't said Jalen can't do that. I have said Jalen hasn't done that. And he doesn't have, to me, I know you don't love it, the pedigree previously that makes me just fully confident, obviously he could, he just hasn't, needed to.
He's done it here and
right,
there,
and so that's, to me, the more interesting thing is, if they can't do it the way they did it last year, will they be able to have another pitch? And they have the receivers for it, they have the O-line for it.
So then it usually, and it's the tricky part about the counter argument to that is, it's a little bit like Mahomes graphics, where you can put up anything like, Mahomes, when the moon is in its 4th phase, he's always winning. It's like Brady. Jalen has won so much, there's a lot of graphics. Like when he throws the ball 30 or more times, he actually has a pretty good winning percentage.
But it's just not as good as...
Yeah, from the pocket, it was like him, Lamar, Goff, and Burrow from the passer rating from the pocket. But he's always winning, and they're throwing...
sparingly.
So it's not a huge sample size.
Coach, 2 years ago when he had was second in MVP, he did throw it 30 times a game. I do think there's a threshold where, I don't really want him throwing it more than 30, like 32, 35 a game. I don't want. But I think he can handle 28 to 30.
Threw 32 times against the...
Yeah, Coach has
the Steelers game. Remember the famous quote when he says, "Is that what you wanted to see?"
Yeah, but
threw the ball 32 times against the Steelers because they were going to shut down Saquon, and he came out with his big chain on and his backwards Kangol.
I don't think he can't do it
one off.
I just don't think he's shown that he can do it consistently.
Right. He said that.
And again, everyone should remember, the whole reason the Steelers game is famous is not because the media was complaining. It's because his all-pro receiver was like, you know where we need to get better? Passing the ball.
Wow, great leadership from Jalen to keep the team.
Mounjaro for adults with type 2 diabetes.